Man, why you got to bring that up? That's the most out-of-pocket thing you could do.
Yo, welcome to Outta Pocket with RG3, hosted by your boy, I see you, and the lovely 97-time All-American Grete Griffin. Give it up for Grete. All right, guys, if you're not subscribed to the page, go ahead and get on your phone, go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, make it happen. But we got a really special guest for you guys today. I'm talking about a man who is an icon in every sense of the name. Rapping, business, acting, the one and only Ice Cube. Yeah.
Yay.
Appreciation. Yes, sir.
Hey, let's get to some NFL questions. You are a lifelong Raiders fan.
Yes.
And now Tom Brady in the ownership group, who's also a mentor of Shedeur Sanders. Do you wish the Raiders would have drafted Shedeur?
Do I wish the Raiders would have what?
Drafted Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I do. I wish the Raiders did draft Shedeur. I think he's a great player. But we got a quarterback. I understand. Pete Carroll is the coach. He brought his guy in. I understand, but I do wish we would have got Prime's son. But look, here's my theory on why he went in the 5th round. Because anybody who drafted him may have been drafting the player that would get him fired. Okay. Because Prime Time want to coach his son in the NFL. So if there was a bad season, that coach should be gone, and Prime would be the coach. So I guess they was drafting in their best interest to keep their job.
I understand that. Do we got any Raiders fans out here? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raider Nation.
Y'all already know Raider Nation stands up. Any Shedeur Sanders fans out there?
Right here.
I like it. So you as a father.
Yes.
You've seen this from both sides. Being going through the system, having a son that had to fill your shoes, or maybe you didn't tell him that, but that's what the world expected of him. What kind of pressure does that put on a child when they have to live up to Ice Cube or Deion Sanders, and how did you manage that as a father with your son?
Well, they got the same DNA inside of them, so it's really about unlocking what's already inside of them. I told my son to go make a name for himself,
right?
To not rely on me, to not rely on anything that I've done in my career, because I put him in position to win on this first movie, and it's up to him from here on out to continue to do what it takes to be the best and make his own legacy. So it's real important for your kids, even if they're following somebody who's done a lot, make your own legacy, make your own mark in this world.
You've been very public in your support of your son, rightfully so, but they've also villainized Deion for being publicly supportive of his son and wanting what's best for him. Well, I guess, what do you think about that? Do you think that, not just as a father, but as a black father, and how that has been portrayed in certain instances, do you think it's right that they're, going after Deion for supporting his son?
Well, sometimes you can't win for losing, There's a narrative that the black father is not present in their child's life. It's a false narrative, but it is a narrative. So to see fathers involved, to see fathers stepping up, they should be commended. It's really up to the child to run with the opportunity.
Right.
But you can't blame a father for placing their son in a position to win. In every occupation, you have fathers bringing along sons to take the place, mothers bringing along daughters, uncles bringing along nephews and nieces. And it's nothing wrong with putting your kids in a position to win, but it's really up to them to take it from there, because you can't, LeBron can't play the game
Right.
for his son. Deion cannot play the game for his son. But there's nothing wrong with putting him in a position to play the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about your biggest nemesis, the Chiefs.
Man, why you got to bring that up?
Okay, I'm actually not even going to talk about their football play because we all know Patrick Mahomes is great. Let's talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Do you think them constantly showing Taylor Swift on the broadcast, do you think that adds to the game or do you think it takes away from it?
Well, it adds to the game because the NFL is interested in new eyeballs,
Right.
more viewership. They're trying to bring women into the sport. And if they got to use Taylor Swift, so be it. I don't think nothing wrong with it. I think they're making a real big deal out of it. At the end of the day, it's really about what Travis does on the field. It's not what Taylor does in a suite.
Right.
You know what I mean? So no matter who's at the game, whether she comes or not, Travis Kelce still has to perform.
Right.
And he is performing at a high level, so I don't understand what the big deal is about.
How many of you guys out here in the fans have ever been speeding before? Don't worry, Fabo ain't gonna come get you. All right, we've all been guilty of speeding. And for the Shedeur Sanders fans out there, one last question about him. He got caught speeding recently, going 101 in a 60. And some people have tried to vilify him for that. But when he got pulled over, he handled it with class, and he took responsibility for his actions. What do you think that says about Shedeur's character, that he was able to realize his mistake and move past it?
Oh, he's great pedigree. He's the son of an NFL Hall of Famer. So he's a great example of, a kid taking the opportunity that's in front of him and running with it. But don't go 100 miles an hour. That would be my advice.
Right.
The Raiders had a player, his last name is Rugg.
Correct.
And he was going over 100 miles an hour. He killed a lady, and it ended his football career. So nothing good happens at 100 miles an hour. So you want to tell him to tone it down? Go 80, man. Go 85. But don't go 100.
Nah,
Slow it down a little bit, youngster. Yeah.
All right, our next segment is called Ice Cold Truth.
Okay, I got that.
like that.
I think I got that.
Y'all know Ice Cube's known for just saying how it is, so we're going to ask him some questions and let him do what he do.
What do you think about the new age streamers, the Kai Cenats, the Ice Show Speeds? Do you respect their hustle?
I do respect their hustle. I think they're, taking entertainment to another level. They showing that anybody and everybody has the power to captivate, not only the country but the world.
Yeah.
It's all about the effort. If you look at them, they put in time.
Yep.
They put in hours. They put in a great effort, and now they're at the top of the streaming industry. And that's a great example for any of us. Any of us could take it to the top if we put in the time and the effort. And that's what it's all about. It's about putting in the work. Once you put in the work, you'll be surprised how many things come into your into your opportunity zone, so to speak. So, always do your best, always put in the work, and then everything else usually handles itself.
When you talk about putting in the work, how many of you guys out here love the Friday movies? Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Right? So, I think I speak for everyone here. We're all really excited and can't wait for the last Friday movie to come out. Is there any information you can give us about that movie? It's supposed to come out next year. Who's starring in it? Who's coming back? What new age comedians you're gonna involve in that? Can I get a movie role? What?
You got to stand in a long line, man.
Oh, that is a long line.
It's gonna be great. You know, we kind of working on the script right now, figuring out who's gonna be in the next movie, and we game planning, so to speak. So we can't wait to show y'all what we got. But I think it's important for us to keep most of it a secret, so when y'all see the movie, y'all can really enjoy it. I think if you know too much, takes away from the experience a little bit.
I can respect that, but
What our show is called Outta Pocket. What is the most out-of-pocket thing you have ever done on a movie set?
I guess left the movie set before they wrapped me. I got pissed off at one of the producers,
What movie was
and
that?
I left. I don't want to put him out there, but I left the set. I think that's the most out-of-pocket thing you can do is leave before it's time to leave,
yeah.
Cussing out people, talking shit, all that is cool, but when you leave, they can't do nothing about that. So I guess that's the most out-of-pocket thing you could do.
Robert just requested a movie role from you. So what's the most out-of-pocket request you've ever gotten from a fan?
Marry me.
Oh.
That was pretty out of pocket because I'm already married.
Right.
So don't ask me to marry you. That ain't gonna happen.
Facts. Well, you're a rap icon, so naturally we gotta ask you to tell us and tell the fans who do you personally believe are the 3 greatest rappers of all time?
Wow. That's kind of hard to say. I love Chuck D,
Okay.
Public Enemy, putting real knowledge into the music, not just shake your ass, but think. I love KRS-One. I think he's an amazing rapper, and it's hard to say who's the greatest, though. It's kind of saying who the greatest football player. It's hard to say. It's so many great ones that done, grab the mic. But I guess I got to put me in that category. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, talk that ish, baby.
guess I got to put myself somewhere in there.
Nah, we definitely putting you in there. You are what you've been able to do through the rap game and obviously show people how to diversify into movies, into business, is nothing short of inspiring. But Complex Magazine came out with the top 50 rappers in LA recently,
Yeah.
and they had you at number 3,
Okay.
but they left Tupac off the list. And I know Tupac was born in New York,
Yeah.
but he's really associated with West Coast rap and honestly
Yeah.
lost his life
Yeah.
as a part of that. How do you feel about Tupac being left off that list?
I understand why, because he did. He was born in New York, but he spent most of his time in the Bay Area. And this was the 100 greatest LA rappers. So I see why they might have said, okay, it's not just a West Coast list, it's a LA list, and why he was left off. So I understand it.
Do you think he should have been left off? Would you have left him off?
I wouldn't have left him off because with a rapper like Tupac, all of California was rocking with him,
Yeah.
Bay Area, LA, it wasn't nowhere he could go and not get love. So I would have put him in there with the LA rappers for sure.
You just recently came out with some new music, and another guy just recently came out with some new music by the name of Will Smith. What do you think about Will trying to come back to hip-hop after all these years?
Why not? It's music. If you're inspired as an artist, do music. Why not? It's no ageism. We shouldn't age ourselves. We should just, if we feel like we got something to say it. Still got a lot of fans. Will Smith still got a lot of fans that want to see anything he doing.
Right.
So I commend him for doing the music, and any of the OG artists still performing, still doing it. You know what I mean? I salute.
Yeah.
What do you always stand for authenticity. What do you think about Timbaland creating AI artists?
I don't like it. I don't like AI. I don't like AI artists. The reason you care about artists, the reason you care about a Prince or a Michael Jackson, is the choices they make in the studio. It's the choices they make with music, lyrics. It's the choices they make delivering the song. And that's why you love them, because of their choices. But when you put the choices in the hand of a computer, you lose the magic. You lose the essence. You lose the reason why you love an artist and their choices to use this song or this verse, that verse, deep voice, high voice, whatever. That's what make you fall in love with these artists. If your favorite artist start running all his music through a computer, I don't think you would like him very long after that. Some of the magic would be gone.
You said the most out-of-pocket fan request you've received is a marriage proposal. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 32 years, going on 33. Yeah.
What are your tips for a long-lasting, happy marriage? Not just a long-lasting marriage, because anybody can be married for a long time. What are some of your tips for a long-lasting, happy marriage?
You got to be friends. You know, being a husband and wife sometimes is a drag. But being friends that's always good most of the time. So, got to develop a friendship. And then everything fall in place. And you got to be truly committed to making it work, to seeing it through. And you have to keep people out your business. Sometimes that means family and friends. Don't always tell them what's going on. Now, if it get too bad, of course you got to tell somebody. But when it's just little spats here and there, keep it between yourselves. You'll work it out much faster.
Right.
And it won't have that lingering effect. So, you know, it's you against the world when you marry.
Yeah. I love that.
I love that answer. And part of part of what we do, we always feel like every day we get up, we got to date each other, right? Been married for 7 years, and one thing that we've been doing recently, we had a recent viral video. I don't know if you guys saw of our daughters. We got 4 girls wrestling with dad in the pool, doing WWE wrestling moves. And part of the reason we do that is because the girls love it. They love wrestling, but they also just like to have fun. And it makes it to where me and my wife can also have fun and showcase that. What types of things do you encourage couples to do to maintain that friendship and that spark?
Oh, man, you got to put each other first. You know, the kids is cool. The kids is all right. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to be you two together. And so you got to put each other first. And if you guys stay happy, the kids will be happy, you know.
For sure.
And so that to me is a big deal. Sometimes the kids that take the focus away from what you guys got going on together. Can't let that happen. You guys have to be a united front.
Yes, sir.
That the kids know they can't break. And everything turn out right. You know, it's really about always putting in that time with each other.
All right, let's move on to our next segment called Cube Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Cupid.
this is a basketball segment, right?
Okay.
You got your Big Three hat on, you got your Big
Yep.
Three jacket on. But before we talk about Big Three, you are also a lifelong Lakers fan, right?
Yes.
Any Lakers fans out there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, even in New York, I would love it.
I'll leave the question to you.
Okay. Do you think LeBron should retire?
I mean, he can still play at a high level. Why should he? You know, these are his actually, you know, he coming up on his final years. So why quit before you're ready?
Right.
Why quit before your game diminishes? Like, there's no reason to quit. If he love it, he should continue to play.
In that same vein, we got a fan over here who's asking the question, who do you think the greatest of all time is in basketball?
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever. It's not even close.
I'm a Jordan kid. I grew up on Like Mike, the commercials, Gatorade, all that. So I also agree that Michael Jordan's the greatest of all times. Is there anything that LeBron can do in the next 2 to 3 years to ever surpass Jordan?
Unfortunately not. You know, Jordan will go down as the greatest just because of his, you know, you had to be there. That's all I say. You just had to be there. It was nothing like him. He was way better than everybody else in the league. LeBron is great, but he's not way better than everybody else in the league.
Who do you think the new face of the NBA is? You got the Game 7 coming up in a couple days. So who do you see as the new face of the NBA?
Wow. You know, Halliburton is great.
Yep.
SGA is pretty good. You know, I still like Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
And I still like Ja Morant.
Okay.
You know, I think he would have been the face of the league if things didn't turn out the way they did, you know. But I still think those guys are poised to take it.
Speaking about Ja Morant, unbelievable basketball player. Do you think that he was wrongly persecuted for his celebrations with the gun signs, or do you think it's all relative?
Yeah. I think they went a little bit too far. You know, a conversation about brandishing guns or showing guns is cool, but the suspensions, this went too far in a state where it's legal to carry a gun. So I didn't really understand why they was really making an example of him.
And I didn't love the fact that they went that far with the suspension.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
a
that
big
was
mistake.
They treated him like a criminal when he
Yeah.
wasn't doing anything criminal.
It's a big mistake because people wanted him to be the face of the league.
Right.
Yeah. The Genie Bus and the Bus family just pulled off a flip of the century.
Yeah.
They bought the Lakers for $67.5 million and sold it for $10 billion.
Wow.
Have you ever had a flip like that in business?
Hell no. Man, where you get that flip from? You know what I mean? It's amazing what they did with the organization. And I'm happy for the Bus family. And you know, obviously they felt this run its course. She may have looked around and saw that nobody else can really run this like you know she has been able to, and when it's like that, you should sell. Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of a conspiracy out there right now about the Lakers selling when they sold for $10 billion, and there's rumors of expansion in the NBA. Would you be interested, you and your partners be interested in owning an NBA franchise?
Never.
Oh.
I would never own an NBA franchise. I own the big three. Why mess around with the NBA? Happy with the big three. You know, this is our 8th year.
Yep.
Continue to grow. Check us out on CBS this Sunday,
Yep.
1 o'clock Eastern. You got Joe Johnson against Mike Beasley, marquee matchup. And so I'm happy running the Big Three with my partner Jeff Quinans, all the great people that work at the Big Three. Also, check out our podcast. We got a podcast called Threes and Ones. Mike Beasley, Chris Haynes, myself.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Nah, you've done an amazing job with the Big Three. How many Big Three fans we got out there?
Everybody.
Yeah, the people
I need
love
to
you.
see more hands than that.
Come on, get
Check
them
us
up
out
there.
this Sunday.
There we go. I mean, you've done
Yeah.
an amazing job with that.
Thank
we
you.
have noticed that the WNBA actually supports Unrivaled so that the women don't have to go overseas and play. Now, you got an incredible roster in the Big Three. Guys that didn't play in the NBA, guys that used to play in the NBA. Do you, when it's all said and done, would you want that type of support from the NBA for the Big Three, or are you not interested at all?
Of course, we've always wanted to work with the NBA. We think we're a very complimentary league. We think we solve a lot of problems that they have with players that's retired from the NBA and looking to do something else. It hasn't happened. As you see, we haven't really needed it
Right.
to survive. So it'd have to be the perfect situation for us to entertain it. All we really want them to do is drop one clause that say you can't own an NBA team and a Big Three team at the same time.
Okay.
We have a lot of NBA owners who want to own Big Three teams, and they're not allowed to because of that clause. But if they remove that clause, they don't have to do nothing else. We got it from here.
What NBA player would you want to play in the Big Three?
All of them, like Steph Curry, of course, KD, LeBron, any of them that's, about to hang it up in the NBA and want to play a different style once a week, first to 50 win,
Right.
hang out with your peers. The Big Three is basketball heaven. It's we got Hall of Famers, we got legends everywhere,
Yeah.
and they all get to hang with each other every weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Nah, it's very cool. We're big fans of the Big Three.
Thank you.
You got a goon in the Big Three named Michael Beasley.
Yeah.
And rumor has it, I don't know if y'all heard, but that he beat LeBron in one-on-one. Do you think that Michael Beasley could beat a guy like Kevin Durant in a one-on-one matchup?
Man, I don't know. Kevin Durant is pretty epic.
Yes.
I love to see it. So, Kevin, when you retire, come on to the Big Three, man, so we can see you do a Bring the Fire against Mike Beasley.
Oh, that would be incredible. Do you think if the NBA dropped that clause about the owners being able to own a Big Three team and an NBA team, do you think more of the NBA players would play? Because right now we got the NBA Finals. But there's a lot of guys that are not in the NBA Finals that love to play pickup basketball, and they do it outside the Big Three. Do you think more of them would play if the NBA dropped that clause?
I mean, I think so. If we decide to have somewhat of a working relationship, that I could see a day where current NBA players want to play in the Big Three. We had Jaylen Brown come to our championship game, our All-Star game in London last year, year before last. And, we would love for other NBA players, current players, to come out, suit up, have a good time, play a nice game in the summer.
Yeah.
Get their elbows a little sharpened. And, that's a vision for us for sure.
The thing that we've seen going viral online has been a lot of the fights early on in the season. Dwight Howard, Lance Stevenson, Steven Jackson in the locker room. Is that something that you encourage because it's the realness of basketball and competition, or would you rather not see that?
Yeah, we don't want to see guys fighting. We like the competition. We like the passion. We like to trash talk, but don't touch each other. You know, don't take it to that level. I don't think nobody want to see that. Everybody want to see, you know, guys with the fire to win, but not to the point where they're fighting each other. So that's something we don't condone. Hopefully they'll clean it up this week.
All right. Since we are almost done with the show, does anybody have a question for Ice Cube?
I know we got Joe and I know we got Mike B. He's the corner on Sunday, and they both got an MVP at Big Creek. We've been checking the whole thing.
Who do you think's taking home the MVP in the Big Three between Mike Beasley and Joe Johnson?
Oh, man, Joe Johnson is starting off strong. He got 30 and 10 last week, so right now he the front runner. So until somebody move him out that place, right now it's Joe Johnson.
All right, we got a question right here in the front.
What's it like working with my favorite basketball player of all time, Julius, Dr. J. Irving?
Yay. You know, I grew up a big fan of Dr. J. Still can't believe that I've been working with him for 8 years. You know, one of my heroes. We actually named the championship trophy after Dr. J. So it's the Julius Erving Dr. J trophy. And it's been amazing. You know, he's cool as they come. Straight gentleman. But he still has the fire and passion to win. So, you know, I pinch myself every time I get a chance to hang out with Dr. J. You know, it's been more than a pleasure. And we're very excited because we know a guy like Dr. J would not be around us for 8 years if we wasn't doing something right. So we're proud that he's a part of our league for sure.
Any new shows coming up?
Any new shows coming up?
You mean rap shows, TV shows?
TV shows.
Yeah, I got a tour coming up in the fall called The Truth to Power. 4 decades of attitude.
Woo.
So I've been doing this 40 years. You know, I started 1985. I wrote my first hit song when I was 16 years old. Song called Boys in the Hood for Eazy-E, rest in peace. So it's time to celebrate that. It's time to go on the road with a big production, celebrate those 40 years of music.
Wow.
What advice do I have for a high football player going to college?
Okay.
High school football player going into college, get in reps, man. As many reps as you can. Try to get your techniques down. You know, when you get the higher you go, it's really about your techniques, what you do well. It's about how many reps you got in, and it's about displaying it. The higher you go, you know, the less coaching you're going to get on ability. So while you're in high school, get your reps in, man, extra reps. You know, that's my advice. And I think it'll push you past your peers. That's where you want to be, past your peers, you know, so you stand out.
All right, last question right here.
It's the East Coast Friday. How do I get down?
He wrote his first movie script called East Coast Friday. He wants to know how to get it out.
Hey, I'm going to have you talk to my people. Let us check it out, see what you got. Yeah.
That's big time now.
No problem. We'll check it out, see what you got.
That's big
All
time.
right.
Hey, let's give it up
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Ice Cube.
Appreciate y'all hanging out with me.
Now, before we get out, there's a lot of young men and women out there who look up to you. They honor your story. If you could give them advice if they're going through something, they thinking about giving up, not taking that extra work because life's been hard, what would be the motivational speech that you give to them?
Positivity. Think positive about your situation. Picture yourself conquering overcoming whatever obstacles. Picture yourself in the winning circle. You know, it's a big thing. You know, you got to train your mind to be successful, to expect excellence from yourself. It's really important. Nothing is more powerful than a made-up mind. Nothing is more powerful than a made-up mind. If you make up your mind, Secret Service couldn't stop you from doing what you want to do. Make up your mind, and you can achieve it. Believe it first. If you don't believe it up here, it's going to be hard for the universe to attract what you are looking for. It's about magnetism. It's about believing it, seeing it, visualize success, and then take the steps to get there. But you got to see it first. If you see negativity, it's going to hold you back every time. So look past that. It's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. So make up your mind.
Yeah. Listen, hey, that might be one of the best speeches we've ever gotten. Hey, I made up my mind. We're going to make it happen. I'm getting in the Last Friday movie. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. So appreciate you guys coming out. Like we said, stick around. We'll sign autographs. I got you, Young Buck. We'll sign autographs. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's give it up one more time for Ice Cube.